Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stohs. So it's the week of love. This week is love. And when you think about yourself, do you love yourself? You know, to respect yourself and appreciate yourself is the best way of showing the innate value of your humanity. So can you think about, what do I value about myself? When we think about valuing ourselves, it's what we can contribute to others. And if we think about wanting to love and share others, we first have to love ourselves first. When I think about all the people I encounter every day, it seems to be that we have lots of issues with self-worth. And what is your self-worth? Self-worth is really thinking about the value of yourself, and we all have something to contribute. But if we really can't find those things, what do we have to offer? Well, first we have to take responsibility, right? We have to take responsibility for first showing up. Participating in our life is very important. Second, when we think about our flaws, we all have flaws, but it's accepting those flaws and knowing what we're good at and what we're not good at, and knowing that there's others who are good at the things that we're not good at. And third, we really have to forgive ourselves. I think we all spend lots of time thinking about what are the things that we've done wrong, and just sitting and thinking over and over about the guilt that goes along with that. So really forgiving ourselves and knowing that we're human and moving forward. And finally, when we think about the last thing that goes on every day in our lives that sometimes cause us to not love ourselves and have great self-worth, is when our mind goes into that monkey mind. We start thinking about all the things, the self-doubt, right? The things that are wrong with us and the things that we can't focus on that are good. And so stopping to say, hey, wait a minute, I want to stop and pause and interrupt those patterns of thinking and think about what are the great things that I have to offer. What is my value? What can I contribute? Because if we really want to think about sharing our love with others this week, whether that's our friends, our family, our children, we have to first show that love ourselves, because we can't give anything away that we don't have. And especially, how can we sustain this? And this is a lifelong process. It's a lifelong process, but it's fully worth it when we think about all that time. All that time that we can commit to giving to others, because really life is too short. But first we have to commit to ourselves. So let's talk about giving to others. What are those ways, even in the workplace, that we can give and share with others our love? And again, this isn't that, romantic type of love, but this is that love that just shows that I accept you as a person. I value you as an individual. You cover my back. When you think of trust and respect, those are both ways in the workplace that we work on sharing with each other. And just understanding people as individuals. That's really important when you think about that component of love. The other thing that I see often is when people who really have a lot to offer in terms of talent and worth, that they're controlled by other people. I was talking to a friend the other day who was sharing about someone in the workplace, and she was talking about the managers that she had had in the past, and how she really felt good about herself when she had a manager who really understood her and respected her and really just appreciated her value for who she was. Then she was reflecting on a time when she was really just down in the dumps and low and didn't feel like she had any self-worth. And guess what that manager was? That manager was someone who put her down, who didn't appreciate her, who didn't recognize her for any of her work done. And many of the times, that's because that person doesn't feel good about themselves. And so when you think about those cycles, and as she was telling the story to him, just reflecting upon her life and looking back at the last 10 years, wondering, golly, when I look at the managers I had and how I felt about that, my self-worth was decreased when I was working with someone who didn't appreciate me for who we are. So step back and think about that, especially if you're a manager, and think about your self-worth and your love for yourself, because that does share and spread to others, either positively or negatively. And when we work in environments, we want to have the best work environments and eliminate the toxicity. And that all comes from respect, loyalty, and love. So for positive charge this week, I really want you to think about first, what do you love about yourself? There's something to what is the value that you bring. When you think about your value, what's that value? And third is, where are you on the self-worth? If you're manager, leading others, is your self-worth positive, or are you letting somebody impact your self-worth? Just remember, We need to love ourselves, respect ourselves, and value ourselves. And that will ripple out to others. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.